What I'm working towards is getting her a little bit better fit, building a relationship with her, and today I'm going to put a Western saddle on her and we're going to see how she takes it. So sometimes I get horses in that I don't know much or anything about. The owner don't know much or anything about. This is one of those that just came in. The story, as far as we know, what part of the story is known, this is a mare that was standing out in somebody's pasture for quite a few years. They weren't exactly sure how old she was. Supposedly was a thoroughbred. They didn't know if she had ever been raced. Knew she had a little bit of age on her. The vet mouthed her at about 20. And that's what we had to go on so far. Didn't know if she had ever been ridden, ever been worked. Didn't really know much about the horse. The owner had passed away. The horse had been standing in the pasture. Needed a little bit of TLC. So someone rescued her out of the pasture. Kind of a typical rescue story. So what I need to do as the trainer is I need to kind of get an idea of what this horse is, what she's capable of, what has been done with her. So what I did is I looked in her mouth and she is tattooed. Since she is tattooed, that tells me that she has had at least some race training. Most tattooed horses have raced, but not all. As I'm just asking her to walk around, see how she's looking to the outside. She has been in a pasture with another mare for quite a few years. I believe her previous owner had passed away like 5 years ago. I think, I'm not positive. So she has basically just been in that pasture, not really handled much in the last 5 years. So she is looking to another horse, looking for a buddy. She just came in the other day. I have been spending some time with her to get her to more look to me, because she hasn't had a whole lot of human contact other than just somebody coming and dumping feed to her once in a while. So I have been working on establishing that with her. She hasn't really had any exercise, any forced exercise in the last at least 5 years. She's just been standing out in the pasture. And as a result, I've noticed that she doesn't really have any muscle tone to speak of. She's pretty weak. So she is a little ways away from being able to ride if she is even broke to ride. But I did a little bit of research. She is tattooed. I looked up her tattoo. And by that, I found that she is 17 years old. I actually got her registered name. And I looked up a race record on her, and she doesn't have a race record, put it that way. It's not totally impossible that she was not raced, but most likely she was not raced. So we have no idea what has happened to her between when she was young and about 5 years ago. That's really the only information we have, is for the last 5 years she's been standing out in the pasture. What I want to do, I've been lunging her a little bit, kind of like this, a little bit of walk, a little bit of trot, to help build up some muscle. She needs to build up muscle to prepare her to see if she's even rideable. I'm assuming she has had at least a race saddle on her since she is tattooed. What I'm working towards is getting her a little bit better fit, building a relationship with her, and today I'm going to put a Western saddle on her and we're going to see how she takes it. I'm keeping my lunge line short. That's helping her keep her attention on me. I would really like for her to start looking to me, to the inside, but I'm not necessarily going to wait for that before I start putting a saddle pad on her. They said when they loaded her up to bring her to me, well, they had to load her up to bring her to get a Coggins pull and get her vaccinations first. They said she slept right in the trailer, go to the vet. Then when they loaded her up to bring her to me, she stepped right in the trailer to come to me. So this horse has been handled a lot at some point in her life. Don't know how much, and I don't know what was done. Work that some on both sides. Notice I'm not going to stand in front of her. If she goes to spook and run off, I want to make sure she has a place to go, but I am holding the lunge line so that I can get her head towards me. If she was to run forward here and keep going straight that way, there's a good chance she might kick me with this back leg on the way out. So if she was to go forward, I want to get her head to me. I'm not going to give her any more slack than this right here so that she don't kick me when she leaves, if she was to leave. That's the main reason for the lunge line. Seems good with that part. Let's set a saddle up on her back and see how that goes. It is possible that this horse was ridden after she come off the track. I do not know. She could have a bunch of miles of trail riding on her. I do not know, or she might have never been ridden after she come off the track. Do not know. Could be either way. She's a little weak muscle-wise in the withers. Step back a little bit. Saddle don't fit her great, but it fits her good enough for what I'm doing today. I'm not going to get on her back anyways. I just need her to know that she's had a saddle on her. Now before I put the girth on, I'm going to put a bridle on her. See how this goes. Actually bridled up really nice. She's acting like she has had a fair amount of saddle time. Have to tighten it up a good bit. She has a really petite head. I don't want to surprise her. I don't ever want to surprise a horse with anything. Let them know it's coming. Give them a chance to understand it. Right now the saddle's not in a real great position. There we go. I'm gonna get it tight enough so it don't fall off, but not necessarily tight enough for me to get on and ride. She has exhaled 2 pretty good sized breaths right there, which tells me that she's actually pretty comfortable with what I'm doing. Her body doesn't feel tense at all. She's still looking around. If she was really worried about this saddle, I would expect her to be tense in her body and her neck not be this loose. See how she's shifting her weight from one foot to the other? If she was really worried about the saddle, she'd be really tense all the way through her body. So I have it tight enough so it's not going to fall off. I'm going to send her out and just ask her to move her feet. More interested in a little bit of hay in the wagon than she is that saddle. It's a good sign. I think she might be somewhat broke. We'll see. When I first started lunging her, she didn't lunge on the line hardly at all. So we've had to work on that. See how she's, I don't know if you can hear the whip or not. It's making a pretty good sound behind her, and she's not even paying it any attention. Not paying the saddle any attention. Let's see if we can get her to, there we go. Just want her to pay attention to what we're doing. Just work hard enough to pay attention. Just don't have to work real hard. The last 5 years, this horse has not had any person telling her to do something. So she kind of has to get used to the idea of being told what to do. She made a couple of kind of real strong, kind of like stomps with her front feet. Kind of stomped at her front feet, stomped with her front feet at the ground a little bit. Something to take note of. She doesn't act like she wants to buck, but that was a little bit of attitude, like I really don't want to do this. This is more work than I want to do. So something to take note of. We'll see how it goes. She's pulling on me a little bit with the lunge line, not terribly. So when she pulls, I just kind of get her nose back to me a little bit, pull her nose to me and keep sending her forward. She's pulling because she's wanting to look to the outside, wanting to look to a buddy, not really wanting to look to me. Right there and head to the outside. I'm gonna send her forward, give her nose a little tug towards me. My main objective today with this lesson is to work on muscle building, but muscle building working towards riding her. There could be several reasons for that tail swishing. Could be a fly bothering her. Kind of doubt it, but it could be. Don't think that saddle is hurting her in any kind of way. It's really not even on her all that tight. So it shouldn't be putting enough pressure on her to hurt her. I'm taking that tail swishing as a little bit more of attitude from not being real happy to be told what to do after 5 years sitting in the pasture, not doing anything. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with what she has done as far as taking the saddle. She needs to take instruction better, changing direction better. I'm not looking for a horse that is like something you're going to take and show on a lunge line. I'm looking for a horse that is willing to take instruction. That's what this is all about. All this groundwork, lunging, whatever you do on the ground, to me, is not about building a top-notch groundwork horse that you're going to take and show or that kind of thing. It's all a part of the process to build up to what I'm going to do in the saddle. I need her to be willing to take instruction, build muscle, that's why she's trotting, and be willing to take instruction for me. Now you notice her right ear is doing a better job of staying on me than what it was earlier. She's starting to get to the point where she's like, okay, not real happy with the decisions I've made. What do you want me to do? Maybe you'll make some better decisions. So now that she is looking, has her ear on me, willing to allow me to make a decision for her, I'm going to let her come around and I'm going to give her a break. I'm not going to force it. Turn to me. Good girl. Not going to send her away. I'll pet on her a little bit. Good girl. Her ear came to me. I let her take a break. She's starting to allow me to give her instruction, so I'm going to reward her for that. We're not going to just keep going around aimlessly at work. That's not what this is about. She's starting to sweat a little bit. She's itchy. I'm just going to let her scratch. It's not a huge deal. I'm not going to let her scratch on me. She wants to rub her face. That's fine. I want her to work. I want her to build muscle. I'm not going to let her rub her face on me. I'm just going to push it away. She can rub it on her leg, not me. Saddle is still not real tight. Definitely not tight enough to get on, but it's tight enough it's not going to fall off. What I'm going to do at this point, I have saddled her, I've lunged her. She started to look to me for instruction. So now that she has put that ear on me, started looking to me for instruction, I'm going to go ahead and take the saddle off. I'm going to reward her for looking at me. If you remember in the beginning, she was looking to the outside all the time. If you have any questions about when do you send the horse out, when do you send the horse in, put them in the comments below. A lot of people get stuck and their horse is constantly coming to them and they get to the point where they can't even lunge their horse because it's constantly coming in. So now I'm going to go ahead and reward her for the ear. I'm not rewarding her for coming into me. Remember, I actually had to ask her a couple times to come into me. I'm rewarding her for the ear locked on me because she started off with her ear out in the pasture. We're going to take the saddle off. I'm going to take the saddle off first. I'll take the bridle off last. Most all of my groundwork I do I usually bridle first and take the bridle off last. Put the bridle on first, take the bridle off last. There we go. I like that she stood and let me take the saddle off and didn't spook away from it when it was going away from her body. This horse starting to indicate to me that she has had some saddle time since her race training. Don't know how much yet. We'll be finding out in the future. I'll be doing some more videos of her. Her name is Coco. I'll be doing some more videos of her and showing you her progress in the future. Until next time, thank you for watching.